Hello, everyone. So I just got back home and I wanted to jump straight into it because of the whole U.S., Iran, Israel markets going off and kind of a lot of things are happening on that front. So let's just dive into it right away. So today, basically, there were the talks, the deal, nuclear deal, whatever we're gonna call them, talks between the U.S. and Iran in Geneva, and well, before them, Trump said that Iran wants a deal. He said that actually many times, and Iran kind of said we have a new deal to propose and we made progress and we're gonna bring like a serious a serious proposal to the table. So everyone were kind of optimistic, and so I also want to be honest about things that surprised me because I was sure, and not only was I sure, I actually betted on it. I was like, okay, I know that when whatever when it comes to the Middle East, it's complicated, right? It's a weird region, but whenever there are talks, everyone are always gonna come out and be like, yeah, like the talks are great and we made good progress and blah blah blah. Even though that's like complete BS. That's not what's happening. But there is a huge, and specifically in the Middle East, like a huge difference between the like rhetoric that comes out after negotiations versus the reality, and it's something that is really important to understand, especially for Polymarket, right? Because in many cases, like the statements say one thing and it's clear that the reality is the complete opposite. So I was actually kind of betting that this is what's gonna happen, and I was literally, by the way, betting. Like if you're following, then you know that I'm like by now pretty heavily invested into like this war happening at some point soon. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna like buy, that there will be a deal between U.S. and Iran, right? And then I'm gonna like sell it when it goes up because like I know the statements that will come out will be positive. And by the way, they have gone up a bit, but I expected more. And now I'm surprised that this is happening because how do I put this gently? This clearly didn't go well, all right? And like, sure, still like, okay. So basically, what happened during the talks, right? Khamenei came out, like the Iran's supreme leader, whatever, right? Their president, basically, and said like, oh yeah, you know what's more scary than aircraft carriers? Things that can sink aircraft carriers. But basically, kind of like straight on, like saying we are going to sink U.S. ships, which great diplomacy, really subtle, and also great idea, by the way, and also no, you can't, but sure. Then, at the same time, the Iranians started closing parts of the Strait of Hormuz, which also, by the way, made the bets around this go crazy. Because let me dive into this. All right, so I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen before. So this is the deal market, right? So I was sure that it's gonna go up, and it did, but still not by a lot. So that's a surprise for me. I just want to be honest about it. I thought it will go up. Well, 10%. It's something. All right. Anyway, so this thing happened. Like, will they close the Strait of Hormuz? And then it kind of went crazy because they did. Like they closed a part of it, and now and they did like a live fire drill and they announced it to everyone. They told like all their allies like U.S., China, everyone, like they told them like, oh yeah, we're gonna close a part of the Straits of Hormuz, which also, by the way, like diplomacy is amazing because like China was like, oh yeah, we're gonna join you. This is a good idea, but like it's obviously a really bad idea for them. So so that kind of happened at the same time the talks happened, and everything went ballistic and crazy today. Haha, not really ballistic because of the ballistic missiles, but you get what I mean. So it's a really complicated situation, all in all, in the Middle East, and um, there is like a cool phrase saying like, don't listen to what people say, just look at what's happening. And what's happening in reality is that the assets keep moving. Like the U.S. military keeps moving insane amounts of military assets to the region. Now F-22s are on the way, like the best plane on the planet, which the Iranians have exactly zero capabilities against, like literally nothing. And and again, like always after those talks, people come out and say like, oh yeah, we made progress, and sure, some people said that, but I think everyone who kind of understands the situation and and correct me if I'm wrong, like if you disagree, like tell me, but I think everyone who are really following closely what's happening are like, this did not go well, to the point of like, I'm not sure that like zero progress has been made, right? In the talks themselves, the US came with a pretty same demands, and the Iranians were like, okay, we're gonna talk seriously now, right? Hear us out. We have like this amazing new idea. We're gonna give part of our uranium to Russia to keep for 3 years. And then we're gonna just go back at it, which is like obviously not what the US is talking about, and no one will accept this. No one from the the US Israel side. So, in reality, if statements aside, if I were Trump now and I would hear that those are the results, I would be like, okay, that's it. Like I'm done. You get what I mean? I'm not saying that's what he's gonna do, but I am saying that those talks didn't go well at all, and um, and I think everything is like the fact that, given that, the fact that this nuclear deal market is going up is weird to me, because really everything I'm reading between the lines is like the chance for a deal just went down. I'm not even sure they're gonna meet again, because like why bother? And again, the assets are just like pouring in. I think nothing good happened today for for the chances of a deal, and I think war is actually closer. Like it can. I'm gonna say something and then regret it, because it's like gonna be easy to go back and be like, but I think it can start any minute. Like really, it's so no progress has been made today in reality. Plus, all the aggressive rhetoric from Iran. Plus, closing the Strait of Hormuz. Like all of those things are basically really like at some point, and there were statements that this is a matter of weeks and not months. Also, I explained in a previous video that like you can't keep aircraft carriers around Iran forever. You just can't do that. You can do this for weeks, maybe a couple of months, but at some point they need to go home. And also, once you withdraw, it's basically giving up your position, like negotiating position. No one will do it. Definitely Trump won't do it. So everything I see, at least between the lines, I'm sorry, and I will call it, is like I think it's I don't know. I don't know why the chances of like the war starting really soon are not jumping now, and why the chances for a deal are not dropping, because they should. This didn't go well, and we can always be surprised, right? But at least that's my take on the thing. Super interesting to see, super interesting to follow. It's like we're looking at it from the Polymarket perspective, obviously, but one of the coolest things that happened in recent history. Anything can happen, but I think today the chances like for a deal dropped, and the chances for a war, which like soon, I'm talking like days, weeks, has gone really up. I'm still happy that I did the thing that I told you, that I'm buying like the chances for every day, right? Where there is like this market, like when will the US strike, and then there's like a day for every, right? So I bought those, and as I told you I would. I kept my word. So we'll see what happens with it, but I am more sure about my bet here than I was before. Anyway, always happy to hear your thoughts. I will update as this goes. I think, usually there's like negotiations and meetings are like you throw a rock, right? And there is like waves all around. So I'm pretty sure in the next hours, like we'll still hear things. I will update as cool things happen. But yeah, thanks for watching, and let's see what will follow.